You are listening to 1252 Sports Entertainment. Parental discretion may be advised.
Woo! It's about that time. FatMike, Chicago Sports. Yeah. Finally here. Shot City Sports is right here. Updates on news, get it here. No rumors, cause we keep it real. FatMike. Sit back, relax, sugar beer one of them nights.
Hey, this is Carmen DeFalco from ESPN Chicago, and you're listening to the FatMike Sports Show.
Hey, this is Dave Richard from ChicagoSports, and you're listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hi, this is Jesse Rogers for the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey everyone, I'm Scott Merkin, the longtime White Sox beat writer for MLB.com and proud graduate of the University of Michigan. You're listening to me on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
This is Chuck Arfine, and you are listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. It's the best.
Hey, what's up? This is Greg Braggs Jr. from Braggs in the Stands, and you're listening to my guys on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. Boom!
Hey everyone, Freddie Huebner from ESPN 1000. Great to be on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. I'm Dan Zaborski, senior writer for Fangraphs, and you're listening to FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
I'm JJ Stankovich from NBCSportsChicago.com and the Undercenter podcast, and you are listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey Sparkle, you know what I listen to? It's the FatMike Chicago Sports Show with my guy, Fat Mike. If you listen anywhere else, no jock. Listen to Fat Mike, the best.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another FatMike Chicago Sports Show. I am your host, Fat Mike. As we're getting settled in here, live here at the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill, State Street Studios down here in downtown Lockport. I'm super happy to be back and super happy to be with you. It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming since I've been here live in studios, and I'm really happy to be back. Thank you. A special thank you to all of our amazing sponsors here at 1252, whether it be Stagecoach, Nick and Ivy Brewing Company, Coach's Corner, Fozzie Football, Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. The list goes on and on and on and on and on with all you special sponsors. You guys are amazing. And without you guys, we're not able to do this show without you guys. So thank you so much for being a part of this again tonight. We have a lot to get into, and I'm really pumped up for it tonight. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to be talking a lot of Bears football. We have ESPN Chicago 1000's Carmen DeFalco, returning guest. I don't know why this guy likes me so much, but he does for some weird reason. And it's going to be a fun time. I can't wait to have Carmen out with us, hanging out, farting around, and asking him what he wants as a Bear fan, not as a Bears analyst. He has to deal with this day in, day out. Monday through Friday, guys, he deals with this. And having people like me, Chicago Bears meathead, calling into the station, calling in all the time, asking, well, should we trade Justin Fields for this guy? Or do we do this? Should we trade the number one pick for this? This is what I want to hear. I want to hear a sports guy who talks it day in, day out. Now, I only do once a week. Now, I feel like I'm pretty cool. I feel like I'm pretty cool at doing this and doing, talking about sports, especially the Bears, because, listen, baseball is always and forever will be my number 1A. But my number 1B is football, and I know more about football than I do baseball, to be honest with you guys. But I just like baseball more. That's what it boils down to. Excuse me. But I'm really excited for what's going on in this offseason here for the Chicago Bears. They got a lot of stuff they can do. They have a lot of stuff. Oh, my goodness. What the hell is all over my board here? It's like somebody ate a full-blown pizza. And it definitely was not me. They got a whole bunch of stuff that they can do, with the number one pick. We just seen that the kid out from Bryce Young is gonna enter the draft, and C.J. Stroud is gonna enter the draft. So what happens now? You know what I mean? What do the Bears do with that number one overall pick? And I'm gonna ask Carmen what he thinks. what he thinks he wants. What would he do as a fan? What would he do as a fan for that? Because it's a big thing. It is a big thing. And it's the first time in a long time that we actually have some guys in place here. You know, it's some things in place as a Chicago Bear fan. You actually have things that are, oh my goodness, can you believe this? You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be amazing. We have the number 1 overall pick. We have the most salary cap going in to the offseason, and I can't wait. So now what do you do? You know, it's one of those type of deals where it's like, holy moly guacamole, I can't wait for this. It's a lot of information to understand. And for a typical Bears fan, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, can you believe this? Like, this is going to be unbelievable. You have what you need to have in order and in place. You can go out and draft your defensive end. You can go out and draft your interior defensive lineman. You can trade back for a team to a team that needs I mean, pretty much everything. They need a quarterback. They need this. They need that. They need an offensive tackle, an offensive lineman. You can trade back to a team that needs all that stuff. And it's like, oh man, how awesome is this? This could be something great here for the Chicago Bears. You can return back a haul to the Chicago Bears to get something in order for yourself moving forward. And that's exactly what Ryan Poles did from the get-go. I mean, he got everything real quick, said that we were changing things up, and that's what it was. So, guys, we're going to take a quick little break before we get everything started, before we bring Carmen on in. Apparently, he didn't get the email, so I'm going to resend it to him again. You guys just hang back, listen to a couple of our sponsors, our amazing sponsors. Without you guys, we're not able to do this show live, so you guys continue to hang back, sit back, and just listen to a few of these. I'm going to resend this email, and hopefully Carmen joins us here very, very shortly. So hang back.
Stagecoach in Lockport has a unique menu from fresh salads and burgers to venison and steak sandwiches. We feature plenty of appetizers and desserts for a perfect way to start or end your meal. Come into our country western bar and dining room or relax outside on our patio sitting in the heart of downtown Lockport on State Street. We can accommodate both small gatherings and large parties. Offering 16 different beers on tap, frozen margaritas, an extensive bourbon and whiskey menu, and our famous Bloody Marys. You cannot go wrong at Stagecoach. And if you're feeling lucky, come try DJ Bingo on Tuesdays or our Big Pay slot machines all week. Stagecoach is located at 1028 South State Street in Lockport, Illinois. Everyone is a friend at Stagecoach. Hope to see y'all soon.
Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South. Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport, Illinois. We are very excited to be partnering up with the FatMike Chicago Sports Show, as well as the 1252 brand, because we are one of the few Chicagoland breweries that embrace sports and sports culture. Come in for a fresh brewed beer made right here in Lockport while catching the game of your favorite team. Stay for the live music that we have booked every weekend, or just come for a cozy atmosphere to enjoy a good conversation with a friend, loved one, or complete stranger. Nick and Ivy makes you feel right at home no matter what the occasion is. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. Visit our website for our up-to-date tap list or to go shopping on our online store at nickivybrewing.com. That's Nikivy brewing.com. Come in today for a fresh brewed beer born and raised in Lockport, Illinois.
Fuzzy football, are you ready, brother? Real football action on a glossy game surface played shuffle style. Slide a shuffle puck at pass or run targets, and a free mobile app keeps track of every game detail. Easy to learn, but this game of skill is difficult to master. Take care of the ball or turnovers will kill your drive. The game is guaranteed to get your competitive fire burning, and it's perfectly sized to take anywhere. The park, a barbecue, your next tailgate, or fun at home on game night. Fozzie Football is simply the best, most realistic and competitive game of football available anywhere. Add defense when your skill improves and take the game to the next level. The perfect mix of fast action and real football drama, where a last-second Hail Mary can break hearts or make champions.
Like always, it's 1 billion degrees up here. I just wanted to say this first and foremost. I don't like this whole thing of a mutual thermostat. All right, it's one of these things at my house. It's don't touch the thermostat. Up here at the office, everybody thinks they have free range of the thermostat. I'm ready to put a lockbox over this fucking thing to where there's nobody touching the thermostat. I walked in here today. It was 74 degrees. My office has been closed since last Saturday. 74 degrees, constantly cooking in an office with no windows and one door that's locked. It was like 95 degrees in here. It was like I was walking into a goddamn sauna. It was ridiculous. Tell you what, the therapy ladies need to start wearing hoodies or bringing blankets. I don't know what to tell them. There's going to be a word. There's definitely going to be a word. So joining me now, honestly, and finally, my guy Carmen DeFalco. He's only got a few minutes with us, but I got to get some questions out of him. So Carmen, welcome, my man. How we doing?
What up, buddy? Why can't I see you? I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties. I don't see you.
I don't know. This. I tell you what, man. The computer stuff is ridiculous. Can you see me or no?
No, I hear you fine. I'm looking at a blank screen for some reason. I don't know.
Ridiculous. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand what the hell's going on with this thing. It's ridiculous, man.
But I hear you as long as you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. I can see you just fine. You look pretty. I like the beard, man. You're going more and more gray every time I see you, man. Yeah.
Now I see you.
There you go. Hey, there we go.
Now we're set. Yeah, I'm getting all down here. It just gets more and more gray, and it's slowly starting to spread. My mustache is still nice.
You know what? It's that Pacino-esque type look, though, man. You got the Jay Leno just on the lower half of your face. You know what I mean?
I do my own Polly Walnuts. I do it on my goatee. That's
All right, so Carmen, obviously, there are some things I definitely do want to ask you, man, with this Chicago Bears team coming up here, and I wanted to ask you as more of a fan than more of an analyst. You talk this day in, day out, Monday through Friday on ESPN. Imagine how tired you yourself call in and bitching and moaning, but Ryan Poles thus far, he's done what he said he was going to do coming into the season. How do you feel about Ryan Poles so far since he's been with the Chicago Bears?
It's hard to still evaluate because I just don't know about his ability to draft the right players and the best players. I mean, we haven't seen enough of it yet. The Velas pick certainly does not look like a good one, although to Velas's credit, I suppose, he popped with a couple of, showed some of his playmaking abilities in the last couple of weeks of the season. But all in all, it was a pretty awful year, let's face it. And that pick doesn't look like a good one. I think Brisker and Gordon, you can say, are trending in a much better direction, but it's still so hard to judge because they only had one draft. You're right. I mean, about the tear down, though, Mike. Like they sort of, they wanted to stay away from the word rebuild, and that's fine. So be it. But their actions pretty much told us. I mean, you knew they were going to strip this thing down, and they did do that. Waddle's got the best analogy. I mean, that is the easy part. I worked construction for a summer, and the easy part was when the guy who I was working for, who was a contractor and a home builder, Chuck Lesnick, he'd say, we're going to go, I just bought a house downtown Naperville. We're going to go demolish it, and I'm going to rip out the inside, and we're going to make it nice inside. And he'd hand me a sledgehammer and say, go knock down all the walls. Like, fuck yeah, that's easy. Okay, let's do it. I can smash the shit out of all the drywall and rip it down and rip down cabinets. And then one time he said, you're going to help me come build a deck. And I wanted to, I'm like, I'm never going to work construction ever again in my life.
Hold on 1 second, man. We're having a little bit of
We having trouble? Can you hear me, Mikey? I can't hear you.
Carmen, hold on 1 second, man. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, man. We're having a bunch of problems up here. Give me 1 second. We'll be right back, guys. Give me 2 seconds. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell's going on here with this computer. Like I said, this has been a mess for the last couple of weeks here. We're trying to figure it out, but we're doing the best we possibly can. Carmen, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's all good. No, but I was just saying, like the tear down's the easy shit. Building it back up is the hard part. So they did the easy stuff, and now you have to prove your worth as a decision maker, as a personnel guy. Hopefully you have the right people working with you, the right scouts. And now's where you really start, the hard work begins, and you really start to prove yourself, and you start to show everybody how good you are at this job, because just stripping it down to the bare bones is the easy part. So it's still kind of hard to judge them.
Okay, well, the one thing I wanted to ask you is this is what I see in my mind. So when your team stinks, picture yourself as Ryan Poles, right? When your team stinks and you inherit this job and you inherit all the booty cheeks players that you have going into this year, whether it be Khalil Mack, who's not helping you put W's on the board, or Robert Quinn, who's not helping you put W's on the board, or Roquan Smith, who's not helping you put W's on the board. How important is draft capital when your team stinks?
Well, I think it's very important when your team is no good. When you're rebuilding, I mean, really the only way you're going to do it is through the draft. You're never going to rebuild a team through free agency. I mean, that's been proven time and time again. Free agency should be used as a measure to sort of plug the final few holes that you have, or adding one or two final playmakers that you need to what is a nearly complete team. I mean, to think that you can just take your $125 million in free agency and go out and spend that and fix your team that way, that's extremely unlikely. I mean, I can't even begin, unless I'm missing an obvious one, to think of a scenario in NFL history where that's worked. I mean, teams, the successful franchises that are repeatedly in the playoffs, or certainly in playoff contention or Super Bowl contention, are the teams that draft and develop their players very well. I mean, you need to look no further than the Pittsburgh Steelers. And halfway through the season, I think most of us thought that was the worst team in football. They certainly didn't finish the season that way. No team drafts wide receivers and develops them better. It's probably why they were more than happy to send Chase Claypool to the Bears. They know exactly how to keep, just sort of move the drill or move the chains, whatever analogy you want to use. You wonder how it is they've been so successful for so many years, and how Tomlin's never had a losing season. It's because they've got good eyes, they've got good people, they've got good coaches. They develop their players through the draft. So, unless I'm missing something very obvious, to think that you could strip it down, be an awful team, and then just rebuild it on the fly with free agents is, I don't know how that's certainly, to me, not a path to success. And I don't know that there's ever been in NFL history a team that has truly successfully done that. So draft capital becomes very important. You just have to do well in the draft, and you have to develop these players once you get them.
Right. And I'm along the lines of everybody's saying, hopefully that Ryan Poles doesn't screw up this draft, yada, yada, yada. That I keep on seeing a lot of he's unproven in the draft. When last year he drafted pretty damn well, in my opinion, with the guys that you aforementioned, with Jalen Brisker, with Kyler Gordon, with Jackson, with the lineman.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, that guy played every snap this year. I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's absolutely monstrous. Now, okay, yeah, you miss on a third-round pick in Velus Jones, and you miss here and there. But as of right now, he's got 3 winners that we can go forward and move forward with going forward. That's a big, big thing. Now, next year, okay, continue to do that. You get the number 1 pick. Now, you as a fan, Carmen, I mean, I know that you're a Bear fan just like I am. I know that you hear meatheads just like me all the time, day in, day out. Trade Justin Fields, blah. You know what I mean? You hear these fucking idiotic people, and that's when I have to turn off the radio. That's when I get so angry that I literally have to fucking just. I'm listening to Marvin Gaye now. I can't listen to this asshole Todd from fucking Bartlett telling me that it's time to trade Justin Fields because Justin Fields is a running quarterback. I have to leave the conversation real quick. But you as a fan, Carm, what do you want to see the Bears do this offseason? Where are you at as a fan, not an analyst? As a fan, where do you want what do you want them to do?
Well, trading seems to be the best option, I guess, because I'm more in the camp with you. Like, I think I'm still not totally convinced on Justin, but I love the progress that was made, and not just. I mean, certainly with his legs, he's phenomenal. I mean, but that's no way to, you talk about sustained success. That of course, that's not sustained success. Just having a running quarterback, but I do think he did make strides as a passer. And I think the Bears have such a long way to go to surround him with better talent that it's still kind of like incomplete for me, but I believe enough in him. And so if you're sitting at the top of the draft and you're not quarterback hunting, it seems to me that moving back makes the most sense because you really can continue to then add to your collection of draft picks and that draft capital that we talked about. That's so important right now. If you could stock up this year and next, but more importantly, try to find some and add some for next year. Right. I do think that that's really important. And I think you do that by using the valuable commodity that you do have so that somebody else is going to want to go get one of those quarterbacks. And you use that to add what you desperately need. And that's more swings in the draft this year and next. So it would seem that that's the most logical thing to do. Maybe they get totally blown away by Jalen Carter or Will Anderson or player X that we don't know about yet. And they say, no, this is it. We can't afford to fuck around and move back and then miss this guy. We believe he's Aaron Donald and we're just going to go get him. If that happens, I guess we'll see. We'll have to pay close attention to the next few months and see how some of the pre-draft process goes. But you're sitting here now, and if you ask me where I'd put my money, I think the smart money and the heavy favorite, at least as I see it right now, is the Bears moving out of that number 1 pick.
I think so too. I mean, there's plenty of there's so many different trade options that you can hit up there. You got the Colts, you got the Arizona Cardinals, possibly. You have the Las Vegas Raiders, and you got the Houston Texans still at number 12 as well. I mean, every which way you look at the scenario, there's plenty of options that I think the Bears can still land a heavy defensive end threat, a heavy guy to where they can, put some pressure on the quarterback. Like we all know this year, they were last in quarterback pressure on the defense. It was terrible all year. I mean, you couldn't buy a bus pass to the quarterback on the defensive line. I mean, that's how bad they were getting to the opposing quarterback. And there are a couple of guys out there, and Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama, and Jalen Clark out of Georgia. You got the couple of kids coming out of and stuff like that. It all depends on where the Bears fall. And my big thing right is bang for your buck, and I think Ryan Poles is in the right scenario to do so. I really do. I think he can manage the bang for his buck and get it done. And that's one thing I love about this new Bears regime. So, Carm, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I know that's been a struggle to get you back, to get you on here because all the technical difficulties and stuff like that. I know you're a busy guy, and I really do appreciate you. This is what your 4th, 5th time on my show. You're starting to become a regular. I'm going to have to start calling it the Fat Mike and Carmen DeFalco show.
Anytime, man. It's always fun. I know that for whatever reason, the connection tonight is not as great, but that's all right. We make the most of it, we make the best of it.
I always love having you on, man. You're a great dude. I love having you on. You're fantastic. And not only that, but you're one of those guys that that you and I have shot the shit over the past couple of years, going back and forth between events. The first time I met you, you were right down the road from my house. I was buying Michelob Lights for everybody as I'm trying to chip a ball into a fucking hole, and I'm not a golfer. I stink at it. I'm terrible at it. Kept on overshooting that fucking thing by yards, baby. But we had a fun time. We had a good time.
We were at where were we? It was in Worth. Why am I blanking? Water's Edge, right? Yeah, it was Water's
Edge. Water's Edge. That's my course, baby. That's my course. Yeah, that's my home course. I golf there twice a week in the summer times. But you guys are sitting there. I'm sitting there. I'm trying to chip. You're looking like fucking Arnold Palmer over there. I'm looking like Paul Milano, and I'm pounding. I'm pounding beers and just way overshooting the boards. I was terrible. It was horse shit. But you won. But thank you for coming on again, Carm. But I do want to a couple more questions before I cut you loose. I know you said 7:30, 7:35, and I'm going to hold you to it. What is it like working with Mike North every week like that when he's a Trubisky lover? I love Mike, okay? I love Mike North. He's a great guy, and that's one thing Mike North and I argued about last year, and I've learned I'm not going to win. I'm not going to win with Mike North. I know he's fucking Stonehenge. I'm not going to win with that guy. He loves Trubisky. He's going to his grave that he loves Trubisky. How do you deal with that?
I don't get that one. It's Mike and I don't disagree about a ton when it comes to the way we see football. I mean, we really don't. It's always been a little bit of a head scratcher for me. I don't know how to explain it. But Mitch does have his camp of like very ardent supporters. And Mike somehow just fell into it. He got sucked into the Mitch Trubisky vortex somehow. And we don't argue about it too much anymore because we don't really have to, because it's not this problem anymore, thankfully. But we had one big blow up at the end of last year, I think it was, or maybe it was the end of 2020. I don't know. I can't remember. We had one big blow up about Trubisky, and I think we agreed at that point, like, okay, we're never going to agree on this. We duked it out. We had it out. We're like, let's just let sleeping dogs lie at this point. And we'll move on. But yeah, the Trubisky, I don't know where it stems from. I'm not sure what he sees exactly.
I think he's blind. I think he's Stevie Wonder in this fucking thing with Trubisky. I really do. I really think he's Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder and this Helen Keller and this motherfucker with Trubisky. I really do.
He loves him.
I don't get it. He's deaf up. He is full blown Helen Keller when it comes to Mitchell Trubisky.
It's crazy.
By the way, really quick, why did Helen Keller's dog commit suicide?
Why did Helen Keller's dog commit? I don't know.
You would too if your name was Bear.
Terrible stuff. That's a good Yurko joke. He'd like that one. Come on. That's terrible.
Make sure you tell him tomorrow. He'll probably give me a call. All right, Carmen, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really do appreciate you. How can we find you? How can we listen to you? What do we do?
Yurk and I every day, Monday, like you said, Monday through Friday on AM 1000, FM 100.3 HD2, the ESPN Chicago app, noon to 2:30. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Carmen DeFalco 5 and on Twitter at Carmen DeFalco. Simple as that.
All right, there you go. And I do got one more thing to say before I cut you loose.
What's that?
My guy Harry the Greek here has been riding a hot hand, a really hot hand for the football season from about week 4 on.
Nice.
This guy, he's unbelievable, man. He's unbelievable. He's had Mike on a few times. He'd probably love to have you on, talk some betting as well. What are your big bets for this week?
Well, I haven't done. I haven't finished working up all the games just yet. Two things that kind of jump out a little bit here. One is, and I haven't done all the work on this game yet, but it's just sort of. It was my early inclination earlier in the week. The line movement is definitely going out towards more money coming in on Buffalo here, but it's weird to say. I mean, the Bills have won 8 straight games, but in very few of those have they been overly impressive. I'll just say that. I think we saw it again last week. For whatever reason, they've made it hard on themselves, especially on offense. I mean, I think defensively they've played well. But Josh Allen, 3 fumbles last week. They had 4 fumbles as a team. They lost one of them. He had 2 more interceptions. Some of the red zone issues they've had, they just haven't looked their best to me. And even though they've won 8 in a row, they're just 4-4 against the number in that span. And as that line is out to about 6 now, or 5.5 or 6, I'm not sure I trust them to cover a number like that. The Bengals have another lengthy winning streak at 9 in a row. They've got a horseshoe up their ass in the playoffs here. I mean, you think about the games last year, the game last week, they very easily could have lost that game, and somehow they pulled it off. But they've been a cover machine the last couple of years, and Burrow has been in his career. So, metrically, I can't speak a ton to it yet. Just my early inclination is I don't know that I trust Buffalo laying those points right now. And then, KC, Jacksonville is interesting. I just rewatched their Week 10 matchup. KC for the first 3 quarters in that game, Mike, really did whatever it wanted offensively. They had a couple of costly turnovers. They had one costly turnover down in the red zone. They almost gave up more points. They got lucky. Jacksonville missed the field goal. They coughed it up in the final 40 seconds, receiving a kick after Jacksonville scored late in the first half, and they turned it over. Like I said, Jayville missed the field goal going into halftime, or that game would have been a little bit closer. But it just rewatching it and then looking at the advanced box score, Jayville really, KC really went up and down the field offensively. My power number had that game at just a touch over 8. It's 8.5, but you'd think maybe there's some value there in Jayville, but rewatching the game from Week 10, I don't know that I can get there with Jacksonville just yet. So my early leans were sort of Cincinnati and KC, but still some work to do before Mike and I record the show on Friday and before I make any plays for the weekend. We'll have some best bets Friday on the podcast for sure.
And everybody, make sure you guys tune in Friday night at 7 o'clock, correct? 7 o'clock?
8 o'clock. The podcast goes up for a late morning, early afternoon, and then you can always get us at 8 o'clock on AM 1000. Yep.
8 o'clock. Make sure you guys listen. ESPN 1000, ESPN Chicago. That's where you hear all these guys. Carmen DeFalco, Yurko. These guys, that's my favorite show on there because they're just my favorite show on there. I'm not gonna dive too far into that, but yeah, there we go. But yeah, Carmen, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate you hopping on with us. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I kept you a little bit longer than I expected. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You're the best.
Okay, man.
Have a good one.
See you guys. See you, Mikey.
Take care. Carmen DeFalco, man. This guy, I love Carmen. And Carmen's been my guy for a long time. I mean, years ago, we hung out sitting there at a chipping competition over by my house at Water's Edge, having a blast. And we met up throughout a bunch of different things. And we've kind of always found each other out when we're at these different events. Like the Mongo event over at Mongo McMichael's place out in Romeoville. We hung out the entire day. It was a great time. I mean, Carmen and I and Xander and a couple of my other guys that were with me here at 1252, we hung out with those guys all day long. And we had a blast. And Carmen is one of those guys now. He's not just an acquaintance. He's not just that guy that I call from ESPN. Hey, man, can you hop on with me and do 20 minutes? Can you hop on and do 10? Can you hop on 5? Carmen's a friend. Carmen's a great person. He's an awesome dude, a lot of fun, and he's very knowledgeable about across the board with basketball, hockey. You want to talk hockey? Carmen's the guy that you want to talk to. Carmen will talk hockey out your ear. Like it's ridiculous. I love him for it. Carmen's a great dude. Yurko's a great dude. I love those guys. I'm a huge fan of both of them. So sitting here talking with these guys and living it up with those guys, it's a good dream come true. So there we go, guys. I mean, I told you guys it was going to be a quick show tonight. It wasn't going to be anything special, nothing crazy, nothing hyped up. I'm hyped up for this weekend in playoff football. I cannot wait. I'm going to be hanging out over by Fred's house this week, watching the football. Do not forget, tomorrow night we got the hockey show with Matt Bannon and Andrew Faubert. They come on live with us. Going to be talking a bunch of puck. The Hawks just beat the Sabres last night. Woo-woo. All right, there we go. I'm sure Matt's going to be all excited about that. And then not only that, but we've got Fred coming up on Monday as well with Hughes, Views, and Brews, talking about beer, talking about sports, the whole nine. Maybe I'll be a guest. Maybe I won't be. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But we got Harry Berg coming up as well. He's going to have his show talking about all the hot bets for this coming up weekend. Make sure you guys tune in. Follow at 1252 Sports. Make sure you guys do it, because if not, you're missing out. It's exactly what it is at this point. You're missing out. On that note, guys, I'm out of here. I'm tired. It's time for me to go home. It's a billion goddamn degrees in this fucking office, and I want to go home. So you guys have a great night. Thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you to the Whistle Sports Bar and Grills, the 159, for providing us this beautiful studio. You guys are absolutely amazing. We're going to be doing a show there here really soon. Make sure you guys keep in touch with those guys as well. Look at their beautiful menu because it's fantastic. So on that note, guys, I'm out of here. We're out of here. You guys have a great night. Take care. Woo, 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 woo.